Hi, so this video is to make a simple example about a linear model as in section 2.4 of our book. This is problem number 7 from section 2. I believe it's 2.3, sorry, 2.3 of our book. So the idea is to use to find the equation of a line and use it to find the value of the model in a different year. So it's a very simple task. Let me give you an idea of what's happening. So we're going to have the basic idea is this, that I'm going to have, we're going to give in 2 points, a point for the first one and a point for the second point of the data that are given us. And this point is going to correspond to year A, this is going to correspond to year B. And then we're going to find the equation of a line that goes to those 2 points. And say we're going to use the line then to find the equation. We're going to use it to find at another point, the value at another point. So the 2 red points were data that are given, and then we can find the equation of the blue line, and then we can use the equation of the line to predict the value in a different year, or maybe in the year between them. Okay, so that's the idea right here. It's very simple. And then I'll tell you the difference between why we do it this way, and then there's a confusion about the book asking to do a linear regression line, a linear model using a linear regression, and that is not in this case because we're only given 2 points. So in this example, they're giving us two values. It says the number of in millions of employees working in educational services was 12.3 in 2005 and 13.3 million in 2014. If x equals 5 is the year 2005, estimate the number of employees in 2012. So okay, if I want to give an idea, give a picture that I had right here before, I can have the same idea. So I'll have my x and y axis, and I can say, well, it doesn't really matter what the values are, but since my 2 points are this, so what's going to be when the year 0, like this, in the year 2005, 2005, there was 12.3 million. And the other point is that in the year 2014, there was 13.3 million. So the only little tiny thing that we have to be careful here is that these are really not the points that I'm using, because it says that year 0 is going to be 2005. Sorry, x equals 5, and be 2005. So this means that this number is really the point 5, 12.3, and this is the point 14, 13.3, right? Basically, they're telling us that telling us x equals 5 is 2005 is the same as saying that x equals 0 is the year 2000. Right. So then this first point that I can call A is the point where the x is 5 and this is a 12.3. I'm not going to use a great scale here. I'm going to say that this is, say this is by 3, 6, 9, 12, and 15. So in the year 5, I was at 12.3, so I'm somewhere around here. And then if I go by 5, this is my year 10. This is my year 15. So around the year 14, somewhere around here, I'm at 13.3, so slightly higher. This is around here. So this is the line, something like this, and I get this equation of the line. I think I did it in blue before, so let's make a blue line like that. There's only one line that goes to these 2 points, right? And that's the point right here. There is no choice. So we find the equation of that line. So just find the equation of the line as we know how to do it. So this is something we reviewed in the past sections. So I'm going to do it here. Let's do this color. So this is my point A and this is my point B. All I have to do is I'm going to use the point slope form. So I like to use the point slope form for equation of lines. You can always just use a y equals mx plus b and find the b. It's a matter of taste. I prefer the point slope form. So first, that means I first need to find the slope. So to find the slope, all I have to do is do difference of y's divided by difference of x's. So this is, I'm going to use this one as my x2, y2. So it's 13.3 minus 12.3 divided by x2, which is 14 minus 5. So this is exactly 1 divided by 9. And that, I think, is 0.11 if we round to 2 decimals. Okay, so that's my slope, and now I use that in my point slope form here. And I can only use this one for x1, y1. It really doesn't matter. It's to that. So I'm going to have y minus 5 equals 0.11 times x minus... Oh, I got this backwards. I'm glad that happened. So you see, it's a common mistake to plug these numbers in the wrong place. Y is 12.3, and the slope is 0.11 times x minus 5. Okay, so this becomes y equals 0.11x minus 0.55 plus 12.3. So put this together and becomes y equals 0.11x. I'm going to do it on my calculator just to be sure that I got it right. 12.3 minus 0.55 is 1175. If you want to interpret what happened here, this number here, right, that should be the y-intercept, which my graph doesn't have to make a lot of sense, but it does, right? That would be the y-intercept that I just found. Like I said, my graph is probably not accurate, it's not in the perfect scale, so if it doesn't match up, it's not a big deal. Okay, now this is the equation of the blue line. And the other question told us, estimate the number of employees in 2012. So how do we do that? Well, all we have to do is, I want to find what is it, let's go back to the graph. What I want to do is find at 12, where would it be in the line, right? That's the point I want to find. What I want to do is, in this equation, just use x equals 12, right? So I'm going to plug that in my equation and I'm done. So y becomes 0.11 times 12 plus 11.75. And that, again, go with your calculator. I have 0.11 times 12 is 1.32, and add that to 11.75, and I get 1307. So back to the question, the number of employees in 2012 was about 13.07 million. Okay, that would be my answer for this question. 2012, 13.07 million. Okay, so this is the big idea about these things. So what we're doing is, again, you find two values, find the equation of the line. Sorry, they're giving you two values. You have to write them as points. Find the equation of the line that goes to those 2 points, and then use the equation to answer the question that they're asking. Okay, now how is this different than in other problems in this section? They're going to go further, and they're not going to give us 2 points. They're going to give you a lot of points. So you don't have 2 data, you have lots of data. And for that, there are plenty of lines. Okay, there's not one line that goes to provide all these points. In fact, there might not even be a line that goes to all those points. So it might be this line, or it might be that line, or it might be this line. So if you took 98 with us in the class setting, we have a way to do it, which is not the precise way to do it. If you take stats with us, you learn the regression line, or the line of best fit. But we are not doing that in this class. Okay. So if you are following the book, don't read that. Skip the regression line. All the problems in the homework and the quizzes and in the exams will be like this, where all you're giving is 2 points. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Let's see if it makes sense.